See, here's what I learned about expanding, evolving, and stepping into the best versions of yourself, and also growing a relationship with God, is that you have to first off face your fears one on one, acknowledge them, become aware of, and learn how to transmute that energy from being fearful to a place of acceptance, self acceptance, not self judgment, not insecurity. I know for myself that facing my fears have been one of the most uncomfortable things that I have done up until this point. And even when you grow and you excel, expand, become a new version of yourself, you will usually always be met with another form of fear or worry. Now, that can come in the shape and form and size of maybe just a new endeavor, right? Let's say this is just an example. You want to start a business. Okay. There's going to be fears with starting a business, but I'm talking more on that interpersonal level of self, where a lot of our fears stem from childhood, where a lot of our experiences from childhood through teenage years have left us feeling abandoned, neglected, or fearful of life to come. And so we build this barrier and try to operate and grow, but we're still holding on to a lot of fears that we acknowledge, but we don't. And we carry this around us our whole life until we actually transmute that energy and really bring it to the forefronts of our life. I know that that's not a trending topic and something to talk about, whereas, like, wake up early, take your cold showers, meditate, journal, therapy, which is also important at some point in life, I believe. But besides all that, is you can still go years in therapy and still not be bringing up the truth because your body's not allowing you to, and you've built up such a wall. Or maybe you're just avoiding your true fears. I realized that in order for us to really expand and become fullest versions of ourselves, we have to bring about our true fears and step into that. It's like if you have a fear of swimming, you're going to have to swim. But what do most people do? Avoid the pools, the beaches. If you have a fear of heights, okay, at some point, in order for you to get over that fear of your heights is that you have to climb heights. You have to literally go to a place that is high or go on a roller coaster, right? So these are common things that you ask people, y'all, but what's the truth behind all this? When you ask somebody directly, which I'm asking people now, be honest. Be honest. And I would love for people to drop some comments. What are you really fearful about? With no judgment. This is a no judgment zone. What are you really, really, truthfully, behind the facade, behind the mask, the smoke screens? What are you really fucking afraid of, bro? What are you most fearful about? Because this is not just about taking action to do something like go to that pool or go to those heights. Some of us are afraid and fear success. A lot of us, we fear love, bro. We fear to get close to people. A lot of us fear that we won't become who we will, or that life is not for us. We're not meant to be in this life. There are all types of fears. Every human has them. We all carry them, but we also do a good job at masking them. And this video is about taking the mask off. I've grown so much and I'm so blessed that I've acknowledged so many of my fears up until this point. I didn't only just come face to face with them. I didn't just only feel and see them for a second and push them away. I challenged some. But lately, I'm loving that version of myself that holds the fear. Because who's holding on to the fear? Where? I believe after doing different forms of therapy work, meditation, journaling, all these things that a lot of the spiritual communities talk about, and even the self improvement, self help communities talk about, is being one with what is, letting things go. Y'all, you can't let things go in life. There is no such thing, really, with a lot of things in our life about just letting go, because you're not acknowledging these parts of yourself, like fear. The fear within you, it's like a trickling effect, man. Like, if you have anger issues and you have problems with anger, it's not that you're just angry. Angry can come from a level underneath of discomfort. Being angry can do with things with you being resentful towards things that have to do with your past as well in your childhood. So fear isn't an emotion. To me, it's kind of an embodiment. And I genuinely believe that the body is not trying to punish us by holding on to fear. The body's trying to protect us. And I know it sounds a little bit contradictory, but it's really the truth, because the fear is what stops you from doing things. I'll give y'all an example. Again, my channel, this place is a safe place, no judgment. I've went through many heartbreaks in my life. I lost a lot of people that I thought were going to stay. And, post heartbreaks out of things, I've always felt this fear again that, who am I going to wind up with? Or how, how can I love myself? It's like a fear, right? Like I don't want to love myself deeply because I've been heartbroken so many times. But after doing so much work continuously, I realized that those experiences were just stepping stones and supposed to be lessons for me to uncover more about myself in that fear of love, self love. And then to go deeper into that is to recognize that those parts of myself genuinely need me to call about them so I can face them and love them and hug them. And to me, that's the biggest part of transmuting and kind of evolving out of these lower vibrational fields that becomes part of our identities. So the question is, again, what is it that you're really fearing in your life and why? Trust me, y'all, I've been through therapy in the past. I've spent hours and hours and hours. I don't even know how many hours I accumulated in therapy. Could have been like 100 hours over the course of years. And I've uncovered so much about myself. But even then, it's like I move forward now, years and years outside of that. I still see that the same things were reoccurring. And I realized that in those sessions, I was breaking things down, but I wasn't fully embracing those parts of myself. I was just acknowledging them, bringing them to the front, and then just kind of trying to let it go. And I didn't really understand what that self compassion was really like. And now I'm at a place where I've got out of a heartbreak. You know, I've been working on things with my family. I've been working on things with myself. But all in all, I've been succeeding and growing tremendously while still having a lot of hard times. And I realized that I've been bringing up things that have been buried within myself, continuously stacked up in layers. And just recently, I feel like I broke the true code into all this, is to call on with love the things that you're feared about. You know what I mean? When you're out with your people, your friends, they have fears too. They have worries. When you see all these IG people and everybody on YouTube, at some point, a lot of it is just a facade. And you'll be blessed and fortunate enough to be around actual people and meet genuine people too, and even people on social media that are really the real deal. Because a lot of things can just be smoke screens, y'all. And for me, the biggest thing that I want to focus on my life moving forward, and even on my channel, is about bringing about these things that run very deep in us that need to be faced, and how we can explore it more, right? To really grow. So the question resides again, what is it that you're really fearful of? And why? Where does it stem from? They say fear is the only thing holding you back. So, but where are you trying to go? Where are you trying to go? Even if you're freed from this fear, where do you want to be? How do you want to feel? All that, all those answers, that information resides within yourself. I want to bring y'all through a quick little story. A couple years back, I went to Florida, and at that time, I was going through anxiety and a spiritual awakening all in one. It was a complete fucking mess within myself, but I was growing a lot during it. And I went to Florida and I met this guy called Leon, right? His name was Leon. And I met him while I was hanging out at the pool. And he gravitated towards me and my sister when we traveled. And I remember him asking us, "Do you want to play a game?" And there was there was an aura about him. There was something about him that I just felt very drawn to. So we played a game, and the game was basically him describing two people in our lives to see if who he's describing is who we're thinking of. And he described both of these people basically spot on. So right then and there, Leon was extremely credible, and I felt that he had this spiritual essence about him as someone that I needed to meet. And I want to make that clear that we are all going to meet people in this lifetime. Some can be on YouTube, some can be in person. You're going to meet teachers that are basically like these gatekeepers. They're here to give you the key or open you the door, and it's up to you to go. It's up to you to move. And I've met quite a few people since I've had that spiritual journey. So I believe in that fully. God, the universe, however you look at it, works through people. Okay, you ever hear people on YouTube that talk about spirituality or have a certain God's given message, and you literally know, like, man, your message, your voice, your words is God, like you are working through God, because God works through other people for you as well. So, Leon, next, we were talking, and I asked Leon because I felt so vulnerable and safe with him. I asked him, Leon, how do I get rid of this anxiety? And I'm never going to forget this because this is the whole point of the video. Leon told me this: you have to move towards your fears. Please pause this video, replay that last part just so you can let that imprint. Those fears within you actually heard that. Exactly. Actually heard what I just said. You have to move towards your fears. And you don't move away from them. You don't stray. You don't put up all these walls. You don't self sabotage. You don't go out and drinking all the time. You don't go out hooking up with people. You don't distract yourself, excuse me, constantly because you just got so accustomed to layering up and protecting yourself from facing your true fears. And when he said that to me, I said, okay. I didn't really know truly what he meant because that was the unraveling for all these years of, I guess, my fears and things to come. But in that moment, it's not like I hear that and I say, oh, no doubt, man, no doubt. All right, I'm going to work on my fears and I'm going to grow and I'm going to be love and I'm going to just embrace the fullness of who I am. But now, again, 5, 6 years later, God bless you, Leon, wherever you are right now. You're probably still there, man, at that hotel, at that pool, doing your God's given work. Or maybe you're doing something more. But that stuck with me, and I didn't realize it until I've really been doing some deeper in interpersonal work in my own therapy and just, I guess, facing more of the depths within myself that Leon's voice came about. And now I recognize what Leon was saying was stepping towards your fears is about bringing it to the light, acknowledging it and loving it, and communicating with your fears, you feel me, and seeing what it is that you need now, because I don't think a lot of people know how to work on those fears. And I believe fully, because I've gotten caught up in things and things still motivate me and inspire me, but I realized you can do all the self-help stuff you want. You can spend hours journaling. You can just go to the fucking Himalayan mountains, as they say, and just detach. And you can feel that almighty presence. You can feel that one and with peace. But the truth is that there are layers within ourself. You have a spiritual ego too. Your body does a great job at defending and protecting itself. And I had a really big release not too long ago that I realized was a lot of my fears in me leaving my body. I truly spoke the word of what my fears were, and it's like life changing. You know what I mean? So this video again is just about fear, and I hope that it moves somebody and touch somebody to understand that it's okay to have these fears, but it's not okay. It's not all right to normalize you avoiding them your whole life, because it will stay with you and it will only get stronger, and you will realize that version of yourself within you that holds that fear is only, again, it's only going to be a leading factor in your life. It's like, how can you live a fulfilling life led by fear? You can think that you're going to do things, you can think all this stuff, but truthfully, that fear is in you. Those fears, it's like the fears interconnected with all those things like insecurity, self-doubt, worry, self-judging, when we need more self-acceptance and we need more self-love on those things. If you're insecure, if you have worries, if you perceive yourself lower than who you think you want to be, how do you think that you really work through that? How? It's really genuinely only one or two ways. First, I believe it starts with God calling on the strength and things in that nature to face those parts of yourself, because that could be a battle and a challenge. And secondly, again, it's really about doing the work in it, which can take time, but it is so liberating. It is so liberating. Anyway, I really hope that this reached a lot of people, or maybe at least one person that could resonate with this. So, again, in the comments, or anybody want to talk about their fears, no judgment zone, man. It could be anything. And I hope y'all stay blessed and have a great evening and keep doing the work. One love.